and then share. Okay.
Assalamu alaikum and good evening to all of you. So we would like to start the second session of the day, which is basically the collaborated with the Pakistan Network of Quality Assurance in Higher Education and the FCCU. And I'm the representative from the FCCU to facilitate yourself. And the second session is going to be held by Dr. Elchito over here, who is the Chief Product Owner of Quality Assurance at HU University of Applied Sciences, UTAC, Netherlands. With expertise in the European QA network and the European Foundation of Quality Management assessment. His background integrates philosophy, business management, and quality assurance. So here it is. Kindly, sir, please read the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I hope this is working. Right? Yes. Good. Very good. All right. Thank you all for being here in this session with me on the pre-conference workshop to the PNQAHE conference. Very honored to be here, and I'd like to thank PNQAHE for inviting me, and of course this institution here for hosting us. It's been wonderful so far. I arrived a day and a half ago. That was all positive. So I'm very happy to be here. And today I will talk with you on the professional field committee. So you'll register for this workshop, so I hope you have a rough idea what it is, but if not, no problem. I will talk through it with you, and we're going to see, and I hope you are going to do, because it's a workshop, so you will be working on how to build that professional field committee as an effective structure to collect external input for program. So a bit about myself, so you know who I am. My name is Eltje Bazen, so that's how it's pronounced in the Netherlands. It's to be honest, even in the Netherlands, it's a weird name and people don't know how to pronounce it. So it's yeah, I don't know why, but that's how it is. Indeed, I am working in the University of Applied Sciences in the city of Utrecht in the Netherlands. And my position there is so-called Chief Product Owner for Quality Assurance. Next to that, I am the president of the Dutch Network for Quality Management, which is a network quite like the PNQAHE network, but not just for higher education, but for all industries, all sectors. So we have a department or a section for higher education, but as well for healthcare, for industry, for services, and so on. all around quality management. Usually, of course, it's quality management. Only in higher education, we really call it quality assurance, but it's the same thing as far as I'm concerned. I'm also a panel of chair of audit panels in higher education, which are both in the Netherlands and in Europe, and as well in European basis, we have a network where we have a community of practice for quality assurance officers. So this is really for the practitioners of quality assurance in their institutions, and I'm the co-lead of that community of practice. So this is a capacity building for QA officers. As already introduced, my own background is that I have degrees in philosophy, in business management, and in quality management. And I like combining the two, although I'm not active as a philosopher in that sense that I'm reading philosophical texts, but the philosophical skills I acquired during my studies, I still use to present day. What I like in my work is, and working with people, is creativity and innovation, and critical thinking. That's probably all related to being a philosopher and being trained as a philosopher, and learning from each other and with each other. So I always like workshops like this. Usually I learn a lot as well, because it's not just one-dimensional. I think all learning is going both ways. So I hope you will experience that. Yeah. A bit of my role in quality assurance. So internally within my own institution, I am advising the board and management. So at the moment we're rewriting our quality policy for all education in our institution. And it's a quite a big institution. We have 110 degree programs and in total almost 40,000 students. So it's a relatively big institution. But it's all for our research activities. We have almost 40 research groups. So we have a combined quality policy for education and the research parts, and we are rewriting that. But as well, I'm advising program teams. So when they go through the accreditation cycle and improvement, their PDCA and so on, I advise them there as well. And I think it's important that I keep an eye on the external development. So most people in institutions are really looking inward, looking to the programs, to the quality of the programs, the stakeholders, and so on. But I think it's very, very important to understand what's happening on the outside world, so we can adapt ourselves to stay relevant. See that later as well. In the quality management, therefore, I like the outside-in thinking. So usually, I would say we have to start with looking what is outside. Then we go inside and do something with it, and it starts outside with impact. Because in the end, we want impact. We want our students to have impact. We want our research, if our institution does it, have impact on society. So you have to check on the outside if that is working. You can grade a student, of course, but if the student has a good grade, that doesn't mean that the student has actually impact in society or in an organization or wherever. So really, it starts for me. It starts outside and it ends outside our own institution. Then I like to hear who you are. Now, we are a bit too many people to do a complete tour de table and have, hear everybody's names and institutions and so on. So, and I hope this is going to work technically. So I ask you to get your phones and either scan the QR code or, as it says, go to the URL wooclap.com. And then you're asked to enter a code, which is punctual. And then on the phone, I prepared the questions. I mean, I know usually in education we ask everyone put your phones away and so on, but I don't know how it is in Pakistan, but in the Netherlands, it's impossible to tell people to put their phone away. Everyone has their phone always. So I thought, let's make use of it. So is everyone in? No, I see 5 people. So actually here you can see, so everyone, so in my institution, all teachers can use this application. And here in the bottom right, we can see how many people are actually logged in. So that's not 10 people. I don't know how many we are. So that's roughly half. Is it working for everybody? Is there people who find it hard? So if the scanning doesn't work, you can start just in the URL, wooclap.com. That's WOOCLAP, wooclap. Oh yeah, that's a good is everybody on the Wi-Fi? Maybe I should have added that here. There's a PNQAHE Wi-Fi, which has a password in capital FCUU. No, FCCU at 123. That's the Wi-Fi. Maybe I should have started it. But I guess I suppose everybody was on the Wi-Fi already. So we have 15 people, I didn't count. Oh, that's not everybody. Let's see, but you can still join. So not from the QR code because I will go to the question. But you can still join wooclap.com no, and enter the code PNQAHE. Okay. So and now I think I have to click here. How long did you travel actually to come here? So and you can set it. It should be now in your phone, right? Yeah, you can type the answer, and then it will show as a word cloud on the screen. Does it work?
It does.
Ah, yes. So it should be with blue on top saying WooClap. Oh well, see, there are 2 people said it. And then it says write your answer and a button submit. So that's, I would say, pretty. So I don't know. Does everybody know word clouds? How they work? So the more answers, more same answers, the bigger it gets. So I suppose there's 2 people that travel for 20 minutes. Well, I suppose that is as well in the same city, 14 kilometers. That is, well, actually, I see someone said, I don't know how to pronounce it. But, Unite Fatah? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I have been in Pakistan before, but I don't know Pakistan very well with geography. So that's why I didn't ask, where are you from? Because, I mean, I don't know everything. But how long did you travel? So I see someone 16 hours as well. So that's, it took me 19 hours to get here. But I guess that's a lot of people, did roughly the same amount. So we'll go to the next question. And that is, what is your position in your higher education institution? Like I said, mine was a chief product owner for quality insurance. I didn't think of that name, but someone thought all our titles should be coming from the lean and agile organizing. I think that means that half, maybe more than half, are connected to QA. Are there being a focal person or the director or in attached to the quality enhancement cell. I don't know what 5 to 7 means as a written, you know. But it's great that you, I suppose you all have some basic knowledge about the quality system. So that was good. Then to make it a bit more precise, what are your tasks in QA? And that can range, I don't know, some people, when I started in QA, I was mostly analyzing student surveys. That's the task. And as I said, at this point, I'm rewriting the policy or institutional quality policy. And I did most of the things in between as well, audit compliance, training. So I understand that some people have given multiple answers, which is quite normal, I guess, in QA that we have different tasks. That is very good. Oh, so this is really nice. I now have a bit of a feel on who you are. So as a final one, I thought this might be interesting. How many people events did you attend? So how much did you do in networking? I know this is an annual international conference, but there's smaller events, online events. So if you engage in this type of networking before, first one is zero, that I suppose that means the same, but zero before this is the first one. Some of them second one. I see a 5. I know this is the 5th international conference, so either someone has been here 5 times in this international conference or other events. Right. Also, my first, my first attempt. I hope and my colleagues in the whole program is not letting you down, but you will return and you will see the power and the value of networking and learning with and from each other. So this is about you, but basically the whole conference theme, of course, is engaging stakeholders, and this workshop is on external stakeholders. So I have as well prepared a couple of questions. How you deal, and this is as well your institution, not necessarily you personally, but how you deal with external stakeholders. And that is well for me to understand where you're coming from, maybe what things you're already doing or not doing. So what tasks do external stakeholders perform in your institution or for your institution? Maybe the externals are not really in your institution. So what tasks do they perform? External stakeholders. Well, I mean, not the personnel. The personnel would be considered internal. And students as well integrated. So other external stakeholders might be people from the professional field. So employers of graduates, or maybe business owners who give you projects for graduation projects, or guest lecture, or I don't know. Sorry? Probably. Yeah, I would say that's internal. So that's your own personnel. Ah, the higher education, that's a very good one. Yeah, I would say those are external. Yeah. Sorry.
Right.
Um, yeah, yeah, as far as, sorry, maybe I don't understand fully, but yeah, so the question is, what are those external people doing for you? That is, of course, what they do, yeah. So I see here, research projects have been said multiple times. Assessment report, accreditation review. So that's a lot of like compliance-oriented tasks, right? Monitoring, review, yeah, accreditation, of course. Of course, of capacity building and training, so that's interesting. All right. Okay, that's good that I know this, because this is I don't, I'm not sure if you can still answer it if I get through it, but if so, just do it. But I'm thinking that this one is, so most of it is compliance oriented, of course, right? Yeah, all right, this one. So on which level and are they involved? And by that I mean, is that on the program level or on the whole institutional level? Or maybe even another level, maybe in semester level or even one course? So which is the level they are engaging? Institutional program. Oh, policy management. Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah, that's logical. If it's on program level, then it's all on program. Yeah. Great. Very interesting. This one may be not so relevant if it's all compliance oriented. Um, let's have this one. So if you work with external stakeholders, what insights did you gain by working with them? So they're outside people looking in, right? And asking you questions, telling you things. So basically, I'm asking here, what is the value for you? What insights did you give you to work with those external views? Understanding of weaknesses? Yeah. I mean, I don't know how it is for you, but I guess we all think that we're doing quite well ourselves, and it's hard to see our own indeed weaknesses um, on the other side as well. What we're very good at, we might as well not be seeing because we take it for granted because we think everybody does that, but maybe that's not the case. New agenda to work on as well. Interesting one to see new possibilities. Mhm. Right. All right. Um, good. So thank you for sharing this. I have a better understanding now of who you are. So let's delve into the topic I prepared, and that is the professional field. And as I understood what we've seen now, this might be a thing that not everybody knows or is familiar. So what do I mean by the professional field is, this is what we're all going to do in the whole thing. I'm going to talk about what it is, what is the profile of it. So what does it look like? What is it type of committee? For what kind of tasks do we use them? What is in it for them? Because it's external people, you have to do something. So, I mean, it should be useful for them as well. So we're going to talk about that. Who to ask is something relevant, and how to ask as well. So maybe first we go to this one, because I gave my definition here of the professional field committee. Because what do I mean by a professional field committee? Is it a group of experts, so external experts, for specific field of studies, advising the study programs on their links to the professional field. So, for instance, in my University of Applied Sciences, we have, for instance, engineering program, right? An engineering bachelor. So this engineering bachelor has a professional field committee. And for that professional field committee, there's external experts. So it's not our own lecturers, it's not our own professors, it's not our own researchers, external people working in the field of engineering. And they come together now and then with the program and with program management to talk about the program and to advise the program on their link with the professional field. Because most of the lecturers in this engineering program, they are professional lecturers, right? They're full-time lecturers. They don't actually work as engineers in engineering firms. So they know a lot about engineering, of course, because that's what they teach. But in some sense, they are not engineers themselves. If they don't work in engineering, they work in teaching in the university. So that is why we take the perspective of engineers into the program. So that's what the professional field committee is for. Is that clear? So is that concept, or is it not clear? Yeah, okay, great. Well, there I as well here talked a bit about the why. So it's giving you external input. So in order to avoid that, you're just, like I said at the beginning, you're busy with yourself, you know, you have to teach, some lecturer gets sick and you have to replace that lecturer. There's always something you have to assess the students. You're always busy with all the teaching stuff, you know, the day-to-day daily stuff you need to organize in teaching, and students complaining maybe or whatever. So you don't have time to go out for external to go to that engineering firm and ask what is the new thing, for instance, in the world of engineering. What do the students need? So in that sense, it is an assurance of the quality. Because the quality is, of course, of the program is to, you know, teach great engineers, to make the new generation of new engineers. But you want to do that as good as possible. And in this way, you're assuring that they're learning the right stuff. So for instance, there's new software for engineers. I'm not an engineer, so I don't know exactly the details about engineering, but there's maybe new designing software for engineers. You have to hear that from the people in the field. So what type of skills do you need to handle that? So that's assuring quality. By doing this so you can as well go now and then to visit, of course, those firms. But with the professional field committee, you're creating structural links to professional field. So it's not just ad hoc, but structuralized. You know each other, you can trust each other, you can be open with each other. That is making that link structural. And so this is a bit less content, and a bit more on the PR marketing side, but that's not necessarily bad. It shows relevance. So if you can tell that you do this, that you have this professional field committee, you show that you care about what happens in the world and that you take it into account in designing and executing um, uh, your education. So this is all relevant for potential students who might be doubting between one place, or one institution or another institution, but it as well might be relevant for potential new lecturers. Because here it's a richer environment. You have contact with the actual work you're teaching for, or you may be doing research for. Maybe it's if you have such a link, you can easier get into a project and acquire a new project because you show this relevant. So there's maybe less content or less quality, but I mean, some say that marketing is not relevant for education, but I would say for some things it is right. Now, I did prepare a handout, and I have to ask, I'm not sure if it has some, but I don't know. It, yeah, I asked for the prints, so I hope they would be here. I yeah, I sent them in the mail and as well through the app. So I was told that they would be here. Well, I'll introduce them. I hope they come soon. I already start introducing the handout. I cannot show it because I didn't include it in the presentation. But you'll each get a handout. And as I said, this is a workshop. The idea is not that I keep on talking and that you just listen, but the idea is that you will work as well. So that at the end of this workshop, you will have on this handout, if you fill it in completely, you have that's basically the result of the workshop. You can take that home, and you have a complete setup for a professional teaching. Yes, yes. Yes. Better. Better. Yes. Checking. Check. Checking. Another. Yeah. Yes. All right. Well, sorry for the delay that have been organized. Um, the printed handout will come in a sec, we hope. And I was introducing it here. So in the handout, I should I send? I'm sending it from this. Maybe I should send. In the handout, if you fill it in completely, you will have the result of this workshop and you will have the complete setup for a professional field committee. And so, well, we can already start thinking about. The first thing in the handout will be the profile. So what you want the profile to be for the professional field committee. Now, so this works best to think of a specific case. So if you work on institutional level connected to all kinds of faculties and programs and so whatsoever, that doesn't work on an institutional level because it needs to be on specific program or fields of study or a specific domain or sector level. So the best is to think of a specific program or fields of studies. So indeed, like I said, engineering, but it can be teacher training or nursing or, well, whatever, IT, you know, it doesn't matter. But what I'm asking you is to think of one relevant study program or fields of study you're connected to. And then with that in mind, fill in the handout. And with filling in the handout, so the first thing there, as I said, is the profile. So what should be the general profile of this of the professional field committee? And the first thing is that's important is that it's aligned with the profile of the program itself. And maybe that's a bit of an open door, but it is relevant to say, of course, because it can be different. Because it means aligned with the learning outcomes, with the level, with external requirements. But this has serious, well, this has implications because the level, so on a bachelor's level, is different than on a doctoral level. It's a different profile of students you have. So as well, you might need a different profile of the professional field committee. So, well, the learning outcomes is of course this domain or so that needs to be aligned. With external requirements, I mean, for instance, and I'm not sure if this is the case. I mean, this is the case in most countries, and I suppose in Pakistan as well. External requirements are things like for nursing, for professions in health, you need to be registered in some register to be able to work in that field. Is that correct? I see some people nodding. So it's not only the degree itself, the institutional degree, but you as well need to be registered, and that has some special requirements. And usually, of course, those requirements are in the degree, but it's technically a different thing. Or practicing law, that's in most countries as well. You have to be registered to practice law. So that's those external requirements. So if those are relevant for your program, then you want people in the professional field committee as well to understand that and to know how that works. So that should be aligned with the program itself. But these are more or less like hard facts about the program and as well hard facts about the profile of the professional field committee, but it is as well about, well, more soft skills maybe or cultural things. So is it more innovative or traditional? So yes. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Well, only this is good enough. Yeah, on the good one is video. Yeah, yeah. So it will be distributed now, and then I'm asking you to take a pen or pencil and not just write everything, but we're going part by part. So this is the profile part. So I was saying it's not about the hard facts about the program and about the professional field committee profile you want, but as well like the culture of it. Like, do you want it more innovative or traditional? So for instance, in engineering, I can imagine that one program in engineering is more traditional, well, engineers, and another program in another institution is very much into sustainable building and all kinds of innovative building methods and or so on. So that's as well important. As well, um, of course, per sector there's a different culture. So IT will probably be always a bit more innovative than teacher training. So you have to keep that in mind. As well, what your orientation is geographically. Some programs are quite explicitly only for the region, for your own region or institution. Often teacher trainings are just for your own region, right? But some other programs might be directed at national level or maybe international level. Those international business program, well, that's already explicitly, of course, international, but it might be different per program what your orientation is geographically. So you want that aligned as well with the professional field community. If you're aiming, and this is connected to the level, but aiming to have people, graduates, being in more junior or more senior jobs. So are they more hands-on or will they be more managers also? You want a different type of field committee for that. Maybe as well the role of research. In some programs, you want them to be research heavy, research intensive, that doing research plays an essential role in the program. But in other programs, it's a bit less important. So that's as well something you want reflected in the profile of your professional field. So with that said, now I'm going to put you to work. So in the handout, the first, the upper part, I mean, you can of course start by reading, writing your name and the program you have in mind. So yeah, the top part is for what's program or study field you're thinking of. And fill that in, and then go to the second one, which is the profile. So it will be aligned, as I said. So I'm basically giving you a couple of minutes to think of which program are you thinking of and going to focus on today, and then start writing that. And I'll come back to you in a couple of minutes. If you have questions, let me raise your hand and I'll come and explain if it's necessary. And now it's on, right? Yeah, but I turn it off to talk with people, so not everybody can hear you.
We have 5 minutes for the tea break. Kindly wind it up. Thank you very much. 5 minutes for the tea break. Sorry, there is a bit change in the program. So we have the tea break at 3:30 instead. Okay, thank you very much. You can resume the session, sir. We have a tea break now at 3:30, not 3. Thank you.
All right. So, oh, to, I'll come back to you later. Okay. One second. So we have a bit more than half an hour, right? Very good. Then I know there are still some questions left, but I'd like to go on if it's possible, in order to go through the whole program and the whole day. So I'm open for questions later, and I'll continue later for remaining questions. Okay. Because I want. Oh, yeah, yeah. The bottom in front of it. Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's it again. Okay. Yeah, well, this is what you already did, right on the handout. And then I again start with a question for you to stimulate the thinking, and that is what tasks you could think of for those external stakeholders. And just to reiterate, this is not about the compliance orientation. This is not about the auditors that come and accredit, but this is about uh, people and stakeholders from the professional field. So for instance, those engineering firms. So they're not coming to check you if you're up to standards, but they're coming basically to help you and to help the students. And the question is, what tasks could you think of asking them? And I'm not sure if this is a bit too conceptual, but I hope someone can go ahead. This is again on your phone on the same app. So whip out your phones again. And I don't know if you're still, I see that 0 people are in. So maybe you should, well, you cannot use the QR code again, but go to the URL bookclub.com and then code PNQAHE. Is this working? Are people getting in? Right. So at least one person is getting into work. Oh, it is slow. That could be a course, yes. Indeed, reviewing the course content and enhance the existing knowledge, align with industry needs. Indeed, uh, that is the idea. That is okay. Review of best practices. I like that one as well. Great. Oh, this is indeed the correct task. Um, so before I ask you to write it down, I'll go to what I thought of when I was thinking of those tasks. And indeed, and it was already mentioned, to look at the content of your curriculum. To ask those people, okay, this is what we're actually teaching our students. Would you agree this is the relevant stuff for students and for graduates to know? Very important as well is new developments. So is there actually new developments in the field that we should know as an institution, as teachers, because the students and graduates need to know. Another one you could ask them is opportunities for work-based learning. So WBL, work-based learning, meaning internships, projects, maybe graduation projects. So that students are not only sitting in the classroom listening to the lecturer as learning or reading a book, but apply the skills in the professional setting, in the professional context. So internship, right? So that is one great way to ask those professional fields with you because you have a structural link with it. Another one is on so from an educational standpoint, alignment, and especially when it comes to assessment of skills. So assessment of pure knowledge, teachers know, right? Because it's what teachers do, provide knowledge and test those knowledge and so on. If it's really on practical skill, then people from the professional field know. So if a certain type of assessment is really irrelevant, does the student show the skill on the desired level? So people from the professional field will immediately know if it's the right skill on the right level. So you can ask them to assist in that. One thing there in the end of the whole study career is the exams. So in the Netherlands, we asked as well those people from the professional field committee to sit in on final exams. So they are not assessors, they do not give grades, but they just basically sit in the corner and listen. Maybe they're allowed to ask questions, but they're asked, okay, is this the right level? Because we are giving them the bachelor's diploma or the master's diploma or the whatever diploma at the end. But is this actually skilled in the level you need? So they're not giving grades. They're not saying, no, this student is not good enough. But they sit in on a couple of them and say, okay, the overall, the level, is this what we want to see? So really the validation is what's happening there. But there's well even other things. So I don't know if you know this project market. So for instance, where several projects are offered for work-based learning, and people from the professional field can basically offer their project. They can be in the jury for the student of the year. I don't know if your institutions do this kind of thing, you know, honor a student that's exceptional and say you're an exceptional student of the year. Hooray. You can ask those people to be in that jury. Of course, guest lecture, general inspiration is what I meant, basically role models. You know, students not only see lecturers, or students always see lecturers, but as well people from the professional field. Okay, this could be a role model because the topic is interesting, the way of operating, because the organization. So that is that could be very inspiring for students. And this is the type of tasks you could ask of those people to perform. Well, I guess being an inspiration is not a task in that sense, but you get the point there. Not all these tasks are relevant for all programs and for all levels, but basically what I'm going to ask you, well, we still have some time, so that's good, is basically go back to the handouts, and the next box is on the tasks. So you already have now the program in the first box of the handout written down and the level and so on. In the second box, with the more general profile. So now in the third box, write down what is the tasks that you could ask those professional fields people to perform in that program. Right? Okay. So giving you some time. Yeah. Sure. Okay. Oh, is it? It's very close. Oh, mine's there. I have a microphone here. So yeah, so everybody could hear indeed your proposal for those, just the first three boxes.
Right. Okay, I'm a hematologist. Put down for the program oblique study field. It's a regional blood transfusion service in the first box. In the profile, to me, it appears that the blood transfusion setup, it may be a system containing about 100 people staff trained up to the task and open for new antibodies and whatever coming up in the world. This is the second what I picked up for a profile. The third task in the blood transfer service is the grouping of the patient and the cross matching with the donor. And every day, new antibodies are coming up in the people. So we are going to learn from the field and incorporate into the service, the first three box.
Yeah. And so I had some comment on that, and I'll repeat that so everybody will hear it. Is that this was filtered from a different perspective than I. It was very much of the program. So, for instance, I hope this get this wrong. Matching between patients, right? That is very much the content of the profession. But this is not what I meant with the tasks. So the task is not the tasks in the field, what the practitioners in the field, what kind of tasks they will be performing. But with tasks, I meant what is the type of task you can ask professionals to help the program. And that is not to perform the tasks they are performing in their jobs, but to, for instance, to check if this cross matching of patients, if that is happening enough in the curriculum, or maybe if there's a new technology to do this, if this technology is already happening and being used in the curriculum, so students know about this. So really, it's not that the task in professional field, but the link, what is happening in the studies, in the study program. If that is happening, and so they can check that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But that's one of those things. Yeah, yeah. Now I'm just checking the time for a second. So is there more questions on the tasks? Or other people who have maybe suggestions they come up with the tasks?
Bismillah. My name is Dr. Sherif Khan, and I'm basically a doctor by profession, and I'm also a student of Masters in Health Services Management. I went with a different technique besides for the programs. I started with the advisory board for professional programs in environmental sustainability. And for that, the profile I took was that it was an insight that would be taken from the different NGOs, governments, and other environmental stakeholders internationally and nationally. They will be consisting from around 20 or 30 people. And the tasks were of three different types. First one was to develop the curriculum, because that is the most important. Then the second one was the program evaluation, how we will inculcate that into the different society and the different stakeholders, how they will be including themselves along with that. The third one was the networking and the participation, how we will combine all those three different people, those different communities, how we can bring them together and start the functioning of that program in environmental sustainability.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. I would say that the profile, and we didn't come to that yet on who to ask actually, more the general profile. But I'll come back to that later.
Okay.
So just let's have that clear. Here on this side, yeah, maybe with a microphone.
So I want to add some tasks Number one is curriculum development. Number two, aligning with industrial need. Third is advisory on trends. And fourth
On
is
clients, you say?
advising on trends. The trends going on in the
Yeah.
industry and the education sector. And the last one is suggested internships. Suggestion-based internship, which industries required according to the curriculum. Thank you.
Very good. Anyone having trouble with this further, or having questions? No? Then we still have 15 minutes, so I guess we can go to the next one as well, which is oh, I said break time, but you're faster than I anticipated, apparently. Well, this was meant for after the break to have a recap, but I can do that as well. In the meantime, it's always good to remember things, repeat things. So this was the definition I used for what is a professional field committee. It's a group of external experts for specific field of studies advising the program on, well, their links to the professional field. The profile basically should be aligned with the learning outcomes and all the cultural elements of the program itself. And well, I thought that the conclusion of the task would be that it's a diverse package of tasks, which I think is would be good to say. It's quite diverse what you can ask them. Hello? Yeah. And then I'm asking you to get out your phone again. So I don't know. Is this something you're used to, by the way, just in between, to get out your phone and have this type of interaction? Is this, because I'm not a teacher myself, as you could have seen in the beginning. So actually, I'm not in front of students on a daily basis. So I know that some lecturers do this kind of stuff and others are more traditional. Well, so here you have it as well. Some are more traditional, some are more innovative. But I mean, I know that even in the Netherlands, this is very different amongst universities and amongst individual teachers. So I don't know if you're used to it. But, and I was talking, so you could pick out your phone and I don't know, maybe I'm not even sure if you still need to go, like re-enter the book club thing or not. Yeah, okay. It doesn't stay there, or you re-entered. Okay. Well, basically, and then the question, let's come to the concept. The question is, and of course it's in your phone as well, what is in it for external stakeholders to cooperate? Because you're asking something of them to help the program, but what can you actually give back? Why would they do it? What's in it for them? So the URL is wooclap, wooclap.com. And then PNQAHE. And I'm repeating this because I see that only 4 people are in at the moment. So I see more people with phones, but then maybe they're just on Instagram or I don't know. I know that's happening with students, of course. Or I don't know, LinkedIn for the professional ones or TikTok for the more personal use, I don't know. 8, we're getting the right way. So what is in it for external stakeholders? Why would external stakeholders put effort in the study program? Well, I don't see anything big coming up in the word cloud. So that means that it's all different things, you say? Early access to research, networking, professional development, recognition, enhanced brand reputation, professional development, access, Where did I see that? Ah, there, access to skilled graduates. Guide on innovation. Yeah. These are some networking. These are some very relevant things. Mentorship. Well, I'm not sure how that is meant. When I think of mentorship, I see individuals from the professional field being a mentor for a student, but that's an extra task, of course. So that's, I don't know, maybe some people like it to be a mentor. It could be. Oh, but okay. For them being mentored. Ah, yeah, yeah. Oh, cool. All right. So this is quite a broad thing already. So now I'm maybe just repeating what you said, but it's great if we agree. One thing I didn't read so much is influence on higher education. So they can basically influence the curriculum, right? So they can tweak it their way they want. Now, of course, as a program, you don't want to listen to one organization or one company and completely turn around your curriculum for that one company, because then they should do an in-house training or something. You have a broader responsibility, but it is relevant for them that they can have some influence on what's happening within the university or within the institution. This was as well being said by someone. They have a chance to actually scout the excellent students, or maybe not excellent, but fitting. So maybe you don't want the top of the class, but a student that just fits your culture in your organization or in your company. So indeed, you have early signs of who are the interesting students that you might invite them to join you in the company. There's some precision in the field, this was said as well. So you can say to other organizations, other companies in the same market, you can say, well, we have a close link with the university. So that's just some prestige there. Externally as well for those companies, it shows a societal responsibility, which is of course interesting as well. So not just because well, it's good for society, but as well it shows that you're doing well and that you're not I don't know some vulture or whatever, but that you're a relevant party in society. And then networking was mentioned as well, more specifically meeting peers. So if you're I don't know, a very innovative engineering company, you might want to meet other innovative companies. I mean, yeah, there are competitors, but there's as well colleagues, and maybe you could think of somehow working together, or you can see a bit what's happening. So that type of networking and seeing networking in the same profile, because you're in that same profile. So that's very interesting for organization, companies, or whether it's for profit or not for profit. So those are a few. We still have almost 10 minutes till tea break. So this last 10 minutes, I'm going to ask you indeed to go back to the handout and write that what's in it for them, based and getting back here, based of course on what you already filled in. So which program you were thinking of, or fields of study, which is a general profile, what is the task you're going to ask? Well, that's maybe a bit less relevant, although it is related. So if you ask certain tasks, then that it's not relevant for them or not interesting for them, and other tasks are maybe very interesting for them. So it is all aligned. So the question is for the so you can have your like PR message to them when you're going to ask them, but we'll come to that later on. After the tea break, first, please fill in the section, what is in it for them. And just raise your hand if there's any question, and then we can do it either centrally or decentralized. Yeah, that's a good question. The question is, so I'm from the Netherlands, and is this common practice in the Netherlands, right? Yeah, because it's not so common here, or maybe very exceptional, or not happening at all. First time you're hearing it, so then it's at least very exceptional, probably. Okay. Well, in the Netherlands, it's not obligatory, so it's not defined by law that you have to do it, but so in the Netherlands, we have higher education is basically on two orientations, I should say, not levels, but orientation. So practice-oriented, University of Applied Sciences, and you have the research-intensive universities. And my university is the University of Applied Sciences, and there it's quite common. So not all programs, and usually they're organized on program level. So not on institutional level, because as I said in the introduction, my institution has more than 100 degrees. So we have teacher training, we have business management, we have nursing, we have engineering. Well, those are so different, that doesn't work in one field. So the different, I mean, we have different teacher trainings, teacher training programs. So for small children, for Dutch, for English, for math, yeah. And they sometimes have it combined. But so University of Applied Sciences, most of them have it, not all of them. Some programs in my university don't have it. Yeah, yeah. So, and in the research intensive universities, it's a bit less common practice. And that's usually because they say, well, we're educating researchers and we are researchers ourselves. So they're already in the professional practice. I mean, in the end, being a researcher is just a profession as well as other professions. So I would say research intensive university is professional university as well. But is there any other questions? No? Oh, very good. So still, if anyone having questions, just raise your hand. But if it's all clear, you don't need to report.
Okay, ready for the tea break, tea? It's from 3:30 to 4, and we'll be resumed back over there. Thank you very much. It is in the same main ground, opposite to Sinclair Hall. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, and see you in half an hour.